Hello everyone. Now I'm sure that you've all heard the news coming out of the NHL that Jim Balsillie, CEO of Research in Motion and the inventor of the BlackBerry, is now trying to buy the Phoenix Coyotes. But if you've been living under a rock, I'll break down the sale for you right now and all the little ins and outs that are going on with the whole debacle. Now, what many people don't know is that prior to the Coyotes filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, Jerry Reinsdorf, owner of the Chicago White Sox, was actually in Phoenix with Gary Bettman putting together an offer to purchase the Coyotes, where he was going to keep the Coyotes where they are. But while this was going on, Jerry Moyes, owner of the Phoenix Coyotes, filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy because he knew, allegedly, that Jim Balsillie would put forward an offer to buy the team after he filed for bankruptcy. Once bankruptcy was filed, Jim Balsillie put forward an offer to buy the team for $212.5 million, a nice chunk of change, on the condition that he gets to move the team to Southern Ontario. And Bettman, of course, is not happy. Bettman's disputing that Jerry Moyes didn't actually have the authority to accept the offer or file from bankruptcy because he received money for the league, keeping the Phoenix Coyotes afloat. So Bettman and Bill Daly removed Jerry Moyes from any position of power in the Phoenix franchise. Now Bettman and his cronies are claiming that they're the only ones who get to decide where a team goes in the NHL. And I can just imagine Bettman's thought process on this one. Why would I want to take a failing team in the southern U.S. that I've had to prop up financially for years and move it to a highly successful market in Canada where it would no doubt be one of the most successful franchises in the NHL? It makes no sense. So now it's going to bankruptcy court on Thursday, and although it looks bleak for Balsillie, there is some hope. The bankruptcy court judge is obligated to accept the best offer for the ailing Phoenix team to repay all its creditors. And one of the biggest of those happens, ironically enough, to be the NHL. Now, it's almost certain that no one is going to outbid Bettman's offer of $212.5 million by the mandatory $5 million. However, the legal issue is whether Moyes and Balsillie can legally negotiate the move of an NHL team without consulting the league. If their agreement is deemed illegal, then Balsillie is out, and the next best offer with no strings attached will have to be accepted, meaning that Jerry Reinsdorf will be able to put forward an offer, and he will most likely get the team. Now there's one main question here. Why is Bettman freaking out? I think there are three options here, and I've ranked them in order of increasing possibility. 1. Bettman hates everything Canadian. 2. Bettman hates Balsillie. 3. Bettman doesn't want to admit that the experiment of marketing hockey in Phoenix, Arizona has failed. Now I believe it's a 50-50 mix of option 2 and option 3. Bettman is obsessed with expanding the NHL's brand and marketing it abroad, and to him that means putting teams in cities that really have no business having an NHL team. You've got Nashville, you've got Phoenix, and now potentially you have Kansas City and Las Vegas added to the mix. He doesn't want to admit that he's completely incompetent at his job, and that's why he continues to prop up Phoenix rather than move it to a more successful market. He still claims that he thinks that under new ownership, Phoenix can still succeed as a hockey market. I think it's safe to say that while it wasn't very profitable in Winnipeg, I think it was a whole hell of a lot more profitable in Winnipeg than it is right now in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, Bettman was also incensed when Balsillie made his first 2 attempts at buying an NHL team. First, he attempted to buy Nashville, then he attempted to buy Pittsburgh, and now he's moving on to option 3, Phoenix. On his first 2 attempts, he put tickets up for sale in the area of Hamilton, seasons tickets, and Bettman viewed this as a personal insult. The league saw it as Balsillie telling them where to go, and they took complete offense to that, and ever since, they've been trying to block Balsillie. Even though both times, seasons tickets were sold out within a few hours of being up for sale. Now, what do I think of this whole debacle? I think it's a very real possibility, and it's very exciting. Being in the market of Southern Ontario, which has a large population and is hockey crazed, it'll be a huge success. And it'll also add a new spin on the Battle of Ontario, which is always fun. Now, some people will see this as encroaching on Leaf territory. This market is an unserved market, and you'll see a slight drop in fan base, but not very much. Most of Leafs Nation will still stay intact if this team does make a move to a place like Hamilton. Also, by adding another team in Ontario within driving distance of Toronto, you'll see a drop in ticket prices. Why do I think this? Well, it's just simple economics. The new franchise, trying to sell tickets, will start off their tickets at reasonable prices so the people of Hamilton can buy them. So the Leafs, attempting to compete with Hamilton and keep their fans in Southern Ontario happy, will drop the ticket prices themselves, and there will be a bidding war to try and get people to buy their tickets. And I may not get on Leafs TV for saying this, but let's face it, tickets for Leafs games right now, the prices are obscene. There's no way for average Joes like us to ever see a game in the ACC unless you're sitting in the back row behind a pillar. So the Balsillie bid for an NHL team could turn out very well for us Leaf fans. He's also started a website as an online petition for bringing a 7th NHL team to Canada. If you want to visit the site, type up here www.makeit7.com, or if you're too lazy to type, the link's over here. Ultimately, this issue will be resolved Thursday in bankruptcy court, and we'll know more then. Well, that's it for now. I'm out. I hope to see all you Leaf Spacers on May 9th at Wayne Gretzky's, where we will be watching NHL playoffs and partying on the patio. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Leafs Fan 71's blog on Leaf Space. It gives you all the details about the patio party. The link is also over here. So I hope to see you all there, and keep watching the playoffs. Go Balsillie, go!